All right, we are back. We missed last week. We have a special guest, Mr. Mark. I know that there's some trial going on, right, Austin? Maybe you can catch us up on this.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Our featured segment of today is I will be going on trial, or the power rankings will be going on trial. We'll be taking a look at some history through the years and see if it's really as bad as the people say. And I had to make sure that we had a power rankings hater in the chat so that we can make sure that this is a fair trial and make sure that it's not too one-sided.
And his voice is coming through pretty good, Mark, right?
Yeah, no, it's coming through great.
Good.
All right, but even though that is our featured segment, we will start with how we normally start, which is the power rankings here. So we'll go ahead and get into it. And we are honored to have our last place in the power rankings team here in-house with Steve, the medical tent. Steve is one of the only 0-2 teams. I just have a couple positives and negatives for basically every team in here. So positives are that Pickens and Waddle did come alive this last week. They had like 17 points each. Another positive is J.K. Dobbins does seem to have that bell cow role within Denver, even though R.J. Harvey looked pretty good last week. He still got 75% of rush attempts. And I think you did get a pretty good tight end with Ertz to hopefully ease you through the Kittle injury. The negatives are obviously the injuries. Kittle, Reed, Aaron Jones, that all sucks. The other big negative is Kyren. Kyren gave up 50% of his red zone touches in this last game. And last year, 5 of his 17 points per game were all from touches that came within the 5-yard line. So if he gives those up, he does become quite irrelevant.
I'm not too worried about Kyren because he's still like a unicorn with how much percentage touches he gets. Like one game is not the biggest issue to me. The one thing that really screwed me is Pickle, because I traded him Jordan Reed and got Jordan Reed and Aaron Jones, and they both died. I gave away Addison and Brian Robinson Jr. for nothing. So
I mean, that trade was also nothing. I think your name stinks because your injuries are not that big. George Kittle is your fault for not taking Pitts, and Aaron Jones is like 70 years old in running back age.
They're not
so
terrible.
That means nothing.
They're not terrible, but only 2 weeks in. Jordan Reed on there getting me 0. Kittle did have a really good first quarter, could have got me more. But yeah, I agree. It's not egregious, but it's just I think it's more the trade that hurts because I traded for them and they immediately got injured that week. But yes, I agree. It's not that bad.
All right. Next up here, we have the Pickle making his way back to where the Pickle belongs, which is in the back of the rankings. New beginnings. Hopefully that means beginning the half marathon finally. You'll also notice the number on his nameplate there. That is the amount of days it's been since the Pickle has had a winning record in the league.
Oh my goodness.
Some positives and negatives for Pickle. Positive, Gibbs is him. Other positive is that Kamara did reclaim some of the target share. He, after only getting like 2 targets first week, he was second on the team this week. And the other positive is J.J. McCarthy is dead, so he doesn't have to be tempted to start him anymore. And Hawkinson won't hopefully suck as much without J.J. there.
He also somehow has the number 1 kicker and defense. I don't know how either of those are the number 1.
Yeah, so that helps me get into my negative. My first negative is that he only scored 97 points last week, and 18 of those came from his kicker.
That's rough.
Wide receivers are pretty much just as bad as I thought going into the season. Garrett Wilson sucks. T. Higgins has not been great, and he's probably going to do worse with Browning. And also, Gianti just looked lost and tossed out there. He was just missing blocks. He should be benched, to be honest.
I don't feel too bad about Garrett Wilson. Last week, the Jets got absolutely pummeled by the Bills. So it's like, I still think he's fine on that. Genty, who knows?
And I don't know if you say it. Actually, Scattaboo looked really good in his touches.
He did.
That was one.
That's a new addition to the team. So
also, he's got just too many okay running backs, 2 rookie running backs.
Yeah, well, he's just hoarding them. He's waiting for the opportunity to trade them.
Trade them to you.
Yeah. The offers have been there.
Scattaboo? You're seeing a lot of Scattaboo?
Not yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
They're coming.
I'm sure as soon as he hits 14 points this week, Pickle's going to try to trade him for CeeDee Lamb.
For Hampton. He'll be coming for Hampton.
All right. Next up here, we have myself. O'Marion can't be 10. So dropped quite a bit. I'll get into actually have my negatives here first for some reason. Negatives. Hampton. Hampton dropped from a 93% share in game 1 to a 50% share. The other piece is just efficiency across the board for my running backs is maybe the worst in the league. Hampton is actually the best of my running backs at 3.1 yards per carry. Chase Brown has 2.4 yards per carry, and Charbonnet has 2.1 yards per carry after he took 15 touches for 10 yards last week. So that sucks. It also sucks that my running back schedules don't get any better. Chase Brown has Denver, then Detroit, then Green Bay. Hampton has Giants coming up here, so that also sucks. The positives for my team are that, again, the usage is there, at least for Chase Brown. He has 100% of running back carries for the Bengals through 2 weeks. His passing usage should also increase with Browning, at least if it's consistent with the last time that Browning played for a significant amount of time. Charbonnet's usage is still there for some reason, even though he's terrible. And then the other positives are just that CD, Ibuka, Jaden, and McBride are good, but I just have no running backs to help them.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to put yourself so low because you're still 1-1, but yeah, your running back situation is rough. And
you do have the worst running backs in the league right now.
Possibly.
Who's the first?
Chase Brown and Hampton.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Hampton. The problem with him is he wasn't even on the field in major moments in that game, which made no sense to me if he's the starter. But did you see the fumble?
Yes.
It looked like he was lost out there. He didn't even know the ball was coming to him. Like that looked so bad. And Harbaugh does not like fumbles. But I also know he'll get another chance, maybe, unless One-Eyed Najee is returned.
Well, that is the other Harbaugh thing, is that Harbaugh doesn't like to punish his guys. So I do think he's not going to.
Yeah. Chase Brown, I did not understand your love for him and still don't, because I think they have the worst offensive line in the league, and it's not even close.
They have a bad offensive line. I don't know if it's the worst in the league.
They are a sieve. Joe Burrow was going to get injured. It wasn't not going to happen. It was just win.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I'm sure that's going to affect Brown probably more than Chase. The fact that Burrow's injured, I don't know.
The hope with Chase is he gets a lot of dump offs and that can save him, but I don't think the rushing yards are going to be there.
Well, so in the first game and a half when Burrow was the quarterback, there were 0 design screens in all of those games, and then when Browning was in, it was 14% of all of the plays were running back screens. So that is a positive note, but we'll see if that's just a fluke or if that's actually their game plan with Browning.
Yeah. And CD's looked great, but I still Dak does not look at him in the red zone. I was watching their last game and just refused.
Yeah, we don't love that.
I love that. I need that.
All right. Next up, my matchup for the week, and our guest here, Mark with the Fightin' Fannons. My positives for Mark, Bijan might be the best player in fantasy this year. He's definitely right up there. Josh Jacobs is also just an absolute bell cow back. I think he's got the most touches inside the 10-yard line in the NFL this year. And then Zay Flowers has really come out of nowhere as an absolute ball hog. He has a 42% target share, which is second in the NFL right now, and just an absolute crazy number. The negatives, though, are that your other wide receivers stink. DK and Olave have just that 12-point ceiling that they are just not going to get past. I do feel like the fact that you have Zay Flowers in your flex and those two guys as your starting wide receivers, it's just a bad look. It makes your wide receivers look worse. And then let's see. Yeah, you're just a running back team living in a wide receiver world, so that's just where you're just never going to make it to the next level.
Yeah, we'll see. I think DK is kind of stuck in that 15-point range. Olave, I just don't understand because the man had 15 targets and 6 catches. So his quarterback may be the most. I have not watched a minute of New Orleans, but he must be the most inaccurate quarterback. Maybe
Rattler still, right?
Yeah.
But he gets thrown to 1,000,000 times a game.
Yeah, but it's Rattler.
So it's tough for me to bench him. Terry, I just don't know because Jaden stinks.
Terry. Of DK and Olave and Terry, I think Terry is your best chance to actually have a starting wide receiver. It's just the missing camp piece probably.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Zay, I do think he that's the only guy Lamar really throws to, other than what's his name, Rashad Bateman, sometimes in the red zone.
Well, and one more negative for Mark's team is that I heard a lot of good positives, good running backs. Zay Flowers doing well, and you're only 1-1 because I suck so bad. You scored 100 points and got the win.
Okay, but also probably throughout 2 weeks, I'm probably like fourth or fifth for balanced scoring both weeks because a lot of people had terrible weeks week one, and I was fourth in scoring week one. So
that's fair.
You can say both those things. The other favorite thing is I dropped Njoku. Steve started him, and I started the other Browns tight end, and mine had more.
Barely. It was like 12 and 13.
It still is more, and that made me so. I also I forgot about Fannin and wish I just taken him undrafted and not taking Njoku because Fannin was a monster in college, and I think it's going to be a monster tight end. Like Njoku might not have a job with the Browns at the end of the year.
I'm not going to lie. When Kittle got injured, and then I used a high waiver pick to get Goddard, and then Goddard wasn't going to play, I was actually so pissed. I was like, get this fucker off my team. I just dropped him, picked up Njoku, and threw him in. Didn't even second think about it. Just threw him in there. And then saw I was playing against the other Browns tight end. I was like, did I mess up? Is Njoku not playing?
Like, I don't even know if you guys have watched him. He's basically a receiver, and he's on a ton. I don't know. It's the Browns, though. That's the problem. Hopefully, Flacco's just.
I don't really. He's like a receiver.
I mean, he's a freak athlete. He was probably the best tight end in college football last year, like almost stat wise at Bowling Green or wherever he was. There's this one guy I follow who follows like Power 5, like small teams, and he was like every week he would tweet something about Fannin going crazy.
I do feel like eventually they're going to bench Flacco and start to get some reps in for one of their younger guys, and I think that will be bad for every receiver on that team.
Unless it's Shador, because I think Shador will throw it 1,000 times a game. I actually think Shador will be a stud, but they are giving him the business.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. But Bijan will carry me. Herbert's a good quarterback.
Yeah, we'll see.
Honestly, Burrow getting injured almost made me feel better because I can just start Herbert without thinking about it.
Yeah, that's true.
And Herbert's gonna be good. Their team's so good this year.
Yeah, they're not running a Harbaugh offense. They throw it a lot.
Yeah, which I hate. But I digress. Next up, we have Josh Tokyo Drake. No, I'm probably going to get hate about this one because Josh is 0-2. He's got low points for. But it has mostly been a case of Josh just starting all of the wrong guys every single week. He has 5 of his positional players in the top 10 for their position, and he has 8 positional players that are in the top 20. ETN and Chuba, neither of them I think are like fantastic talents, but they just have so many opportunities that they can capitalize on. I would be shocked if Kenneth Walker doesn't reclaim like the bell cow job after he had 100 yards and a touchdown last week and Charbonnet had like 15. And as opposed to what pretty much all of us thought, apparently Russ can build something with Neighbors because Neighbors has been going off. He's the wide receiver 2 right now. The negatives are that he basically doesn't have a second and third round pick. A.J. Brown and Drake London seem to totally be busts. So that is a negative, but it does seem like he's got other guys that are kind of stepping up for the bust that he had.
Yeah, somehow all of his late round picks are working.
Yeah. I think he's going to continue to have issues with like not starting the right players because he has so many startable players. Yeah. Like his team's actually just loaded with like actual solid.
The only
players.
Ones that are startable are the ones that he took high in the draft.
But at some point Drake and AJ are gonna have games that go nuts, and then they'll be back in, and then someone like that's the problem with having 4 receivers like that.
Well, I think that's also the problem with having specifically AJ Brown and Drake London because they both seem to be very streaky, especially as the Eagles. Like Jalen Hurts will just run for 2 touchdowns and 80 yards, and that'll be their offense that game. So it's like he's gonna have a horrible time with those guys.
He's starting Drake May this week. I know he's 8, but that is wild. Also, just no kicker.
He doesn't need it.
He doesn't need it.
He's fun in that position.
I will say though, Neighbors might be looking like the best receiver in the league. Russ just throws him jump balls and he catches everything.
Neighbors, it's never been a question of talent for me. It's always just been a question of like, can Russ support a top wide receiver? And seems to be working. He's just old Russ and just airing it out, and just Neighbors is making insane plays on him.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Dallas was going to lose that game. That was just insane, that bomb. Double covered, he just ran by him.
I also think Dallas's secondary is so bad.
Yeah,
you watch that game, Wandell caught like 3 or 4 balls down the seam for 20 to 30 plus yards, just wide open. No one there.
Yeah.
Neighbors had some insane catches, but
I really wanted Jake Ferguson just in case. I think Fannin's fine, but Jake Ferguson I think might be a monster this year. in the red zone, especially.
Josh bought it at least.
There's just so many people he can throw to, though, so that's why it's so tough.
Yeah. But they throw it a lot.
Yeah. Next up, we have Gas Can Dan here, who finally had a little bit of an ignition. His positives are that after virtually no targets for Amon-Ra and Nico in week 1, they combined for 20 total targets in week 2, which is exactly what you want for those volume-type wide receivers. Other positive is that Debo continues to be the number 1 garbage man in the league, just scooping up all of the garbage points when the game is over, garbage touchdown, garbage yards, all of that. Negatives, first are Breece Hall. He dropped down to only 10 rushes in this past week for 5.8 points. I know Jets sucked in general, but obviously that might be concerning. And then I also have the garbage man as a negative because I just don't know how sustainable it is to rely on a player to get 10 points on the last drive of a game when it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Okay, I wasn't actually that familiar with that because Debo, I was shocked he was doing well. You're saying it's in garbage time? He's getting most of his points.
I mean, either way, though, that's kind of what Debo is as a player. He is just a garbage. All of his yards come from random-ass plays, little screens dump off, and then he takes it for a touchdown. That's what he does. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, okay, he might be the worst running back in the league. I didn't even look at his, but his running backs are, not even startable.
Yeah, what is it? Swift and
Breece
Hall. Yeah.
That's it, I think.
And Breece Hall, I don't know, could just have a terrible year. DeAndre Swift is whatever, but yeah, what does he have on the bench? No run. Corum? Not really.
Well, yeah, the Bears suck, and
yeah,
I think Breece Hall, we'll see. I think he'll be fine. He won't be great for him, but he'll be fine. He won't be terrible.
I think he did get a steal. Quentin Johnson is going to have a monster year. Might finish as a top 10 receiver. He gets so many red zone targets. He can catch the ball, and he's actually a freak athlete. He was always open. He just couldn't catch the ball.
Yeah.
And now he's catching the ball, and he's catching a touchdown every game.
It's actually the worst thing for me is I'm watching Herbert. I'm like, yep, Keenan Allen's back. Herbert and Allen, they've got a connection. Then it's just Quentin Johnson randomly for big fucking plays. And I've got Lad McConkey, who I drafted early, when is he going to come in, I still feel confident about him, but the amount of weapons they have there is really getting concerning.
Yeah. We'll see. He's going to have to be carried by his wide receivers. If Nico gets back to regular Nico and Amon-Ra stays with that and Debo plays good and Quentin Johnson, those 3 of those 4 can carry, but it's going to have to be a big time carry.
Yeah. And Amon-Ra had 40 points this week. We all know that's not his.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's so if he has 3 receivers who do well plus Josh Allen, that's what he's going to get his points from. Garbage tight end, garbage running backs, whatever defensive kicker.
Yeah. All right. Next up here, we got Johnny with King Henry. Johnny's positives are first and foremost Mahomes. Mahomes is running back 1 in Kansas City. He is the leading rusher both of their first 2 games. I think he had 60 yards in one game and 50 in another. Another positive is Devontae Adams, 21 targets over the first 2 weeks, which is insane. Which is still less targets than Puka, but they only go to them.
But you also know the crazy thing is it probably won't end because that's how Stafford is. He locks on and just throws to him over and over.
Yep. And then other positive is he has one of the other top garbage men in the league of A-Chain, who's going to be down every single game, but is just going to get targets and just make something out of nothing. I only have that as a positive for that garbage man because I think he's a little bit more of a sustainable garbage man. He's the one that shows up every Monday morning, takes the trash out, doesn't complain. He'll do it for the rest of his life. The negatives were that he did learn this week that King Henry is not invincible. What did he have, 2 or 3 points or something? Yeah. So that's a little bit of a worry. And he does have a real wide receiver 2/flex problem.
Huge problem, yeah.
It's a little bit concerning that he has to rely so much on those other guys on his team.
Yeah, didn't the Baltimore score 40 points too? I didn't watch that game. Yeah. I don't even know what happened.
He does have basically another receiver in Brock Bowers if he stays healthy. You didn't say the negative on Mahomes though. With him running, everyone's wanted to hit Mahomes throughout the years, and he's running that much. He's going to take some monster hits because someone's going to line him up and just destroy him. So, but Mahomes has also gained 20 pounds of weight every offseason, it seems. So he might be able to handle it.
Yeah.
I don't understand Johnny's team. I don't know if they're good or bad.
Neither do I. But they've done well both the weeks. They've put 250 up over the 2 weeks so far.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Lukey with land, sand, and utensils. Lukey has just won the lottery, the zero running back lottery, and he didn't just win it once, he won it twice. Javonte is the running back 3 right now and is just an absolute bell cow and looks as explosive as he did before he tore his ACL. And
possible league winner.
Possible league winner for sure. Warren also has looked really good, and he just secured himself a much bigger role because Caleb Johnson, right, is just an absolute dumbass with letting the kickoff go for the touchdown last week. So I think Warren's going to be playing even more time.
Warren?
Yeah.
Who, the tight end you're talking about?
No, the
Steelers running back. Yeah,
running back.
Oh yeah.
He's also got Puka, which is just been absolutely unreal. Puka has 41% of the receiving yards for the Rams this year.
How did Puka drop to 15th in our draft? Who missed him?
I think people were worried about the Stafford injury.
Still, who missed him? Was it me? No, it wasn't me. What pick did I have? 4th? Maybe it was. No, I would have been on the back end.
I was considering doing a trade back from 1 to 9 with Josh because I just wanted Puka. All I wanted. But I thought Johnny was going to take him at 8, and he didn't. Yeah. But yeah, Puka is just
I thought he dropped way too far. I couldn't believe that. I don't know.
Oh, Johnny took him in his second pick, so 12. It was like 12 or 13.
Yep. So that's Josh. I think it was Josh and Dan that passed on him with their second picks.
Also, so you know how Paul, when he rumors of trades that usually happen, I'm pretty sure Lukey was probably trying to trade for Chase again and pull off, like make his super team again, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
It was me.
But, it was you? But it could have been Paul
it
too.
Started. I was actually give up Barkley. And it like started as a rough thing. I wanted Chase and Mason, and he was like Barkley, and I'm like, I got nothing set in stone. I got to think about this. And then he's like, well, I'll do it for Barkley and Waddle. So that was like, I can't do it. It's not. And so then his last ditch effort was Chase, Mason, and Cortland Sutton for Barkley. I almost pulled the trigger, but I didn't.
Yeah. Also, is Lukey tight end you? What the?
So that's the other positive I have is tight end university. So I was originally going to have tight end as one of Lukey's negatives because I saw Kelsey plugged in there. And then I look at his bench and he's got the number 1 and the number 2 tight end on his bench. So Lukey is tight end university. I don't know why Kelsey is starting for him, but yeah.
I don't know. This is probably Kelsey's last year, and I think he's going to have a really good year, consistent.
I don't know why he doesn't just start Tucker Kraft. Like they're
Kraft is pretty. I think Kraft might be out this week.
Oh, he's in. Oh, I didn't know that.
Minor left tweenie, knee tweak.
Tweenie. Tweenie. It's actually awesome.
Who knows what that means?
Knee tweak.
Also, Juwan Johnson is a monster, and he gets 1 million targets too, but he also has the most inaccurate quarterback throwing to him.
Lukey's negatives are Hurts did have a dud game. Obviously, quarterbacks can't always be perfect, but just at least a small negative of a little bit of a concern there. And then the other one is that we finally have proof that Jettas is not QB proof because JJ McFraud 3 was able to make Jettas non-existent.
Yeah. Lukey has a team that I'm like, how did he draft this team?
He did the zero running back. He just went all in on wide receivers,
and he got Javonte in the 10th round. Yeah, and he got probably Jalen getting so many dump offs makes him just a startable running back.
Yep.
What does he get, like 5 catches a game?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Javonte Williams just being like a maniac for Dallas, that has to slow down, I assume.
10th round pick. Even if he's a top 15 running back, that's still a steal. That's like the best pick in the draft.
Insane.
I'm never drafting running back again.
A rookie running back in the 2nd round.
All right. Next up is Paco with wide receiver university. His positives, first and foremost, have to be Jackson Smith-Njigba. Definitely possible a league winner there. He's got a league leading 44% target share. Another possible league winner in Tyler Warren, because I think he got him in like the 10th round, and he's probably going to definitely finish as a top 5 tight end, but probably even like top 3. Bucky and Monty are like the exact running backs that Paco wants right now as like his floor running backs to just get him 10 to 15 points and let his wide receivers do his thing. So just a lot of positive there. Only negative that I have for him is obviously like Chase. You have to have a little bit of concern to take a step back with Browning, but I have that as a pretty small negative in my mind.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he's got a solid team. It's just
I think his running back situation is
Mason's like for sure the number one running back basically over there now. Aaron Jones is out for a while.
Minnesota might suck though. I think Montgomery is not going to be very good in fantasy and is going to get worse. He got most of his yards in garbage time. Like Chase or Gibbs is just going to get all of that share by the end.
He's still been getting like 10 to 15 touches a game though.
But I think his touchdown was we're not going to score 50 points every week. His touchdown was super late in the game, wasn't it? One of the last ones. Yeah. I don't know. And he scored only 13 points with a late touchdown. So take that away. That's nothing. Yeah. I think Bucky's going to be good. His receivers obviously are good, although we'll see with Jamar Chase. Yeah. He doesn't have a quarterback. Keenan Allen, we'll see if he can keep that up. I mean, Paul's got a lot of like dangerous players. Who knows?
Well, I think Keenan Allen will keep it up. They just look like they've been playing together for years, which they have been.
Last team here, we got Vinny with Zombie Nation. This has to be the longest that Vinny has ever been the top of the power rankings before.
Yeah.
But just an unreal team so far. Positives, James Cook could be steal a draft, could be like a league winner. Just absolutely insane what he's been doing so far this year. CMC is still CMC. Lamar is still Lamar. Rome Odunze has been going off and seems to be the number one guy in Chicago. He's 1 week closer to Rice coming back to a wide receiver corps that is just completely dead. And Evans is really the only thing that has been like a little bit worrisome. But if you look at like separation data, Evans is still like towards the top of the league. They just haven't really been hitting him much with the ball, essentially.
There's not much to say. His team's really fucking.
Yeah, I mean, his running backs are elite and his quarterback's elite. I still think his receivers suck, but I think Rome kind of got the benefit of two bad secondaries, especially the Lions secondary is just terrible. Yeah. But we'll see how he does. Yeah, Evans and Pittman, we don't know. Vinny thinks Pittman was going to be 20 points every week after week 1, so that's how much Vinny knows.
Yeah, the lack of ball knowledge will show up here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, Pittman.
I think, and his bench sucks. Like, I know Rashee Rice is coming back, but it's 6 weeks gone. It's going to take some time for him to get back into it. Judkins plays for the Browns. He'll suck. Juju, Mooney, Pitts, they're all, the same. And Godwin may not come back to a job, really. I mean, Abuka stole that job. Abuka's better than Godwin ever has been almost. And he's done it in 2 weeks.
Keep telling me, Mark.
Abuka's your best player. I want Abuka.
We'll see. Send me some trades.
And I hate Ohio State.
All right, but that wraps up our power rankings. Got the coaches poll next to it. They're pretty damn similar this week. Let's see, what are the differences? Coaches poll was a little bit higher on Mark than I was. Obviously, coaches poll was a little bit. Actually, they were higher on me than I was even. But yeah, pretty similar overall here.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, and then just so we know, this trial thing's gonna come up here, right? You have another segment or no?
We can. Do we want to like do matchups and stuff first, and then come back?
We could. So the thing is, we have hit our. It's probably about 8 minutes left on Zoom until we have to reset it. I can reset it really quick. We could just, now that we finish this segment, I might just resend it, the Zoom really quick.
Yeah.
We'll have a good 40 minutes and I'll be able to finish out the segment. So
yep.
In the video, just skip ahead in like a minute or two. All right, I'm going to resend these. Love the Zoom, dude.
Need a beer?
Yes. Give me another one of those raspberry. Tom told me to get these raspberry wheat Oberon things. If he saw them there, I said, oh, they're actually solid. Are you shitting me? Yeah, go ahead. It says I have to wait 9 minutes to start my next meeting. You can? Okay. It's really weird. You got to go like really angled. Oh. Thank you, sir. Mark's email is just mark.sofranic.
All right.
And then mine's. I'll tell you when you're ready. Dude, they're giving Dolphins 11.5 points. My gosh.
All right.
You send them out?
Yep.
Email?
Yeah, through Google.
I think for next week, I'm just going to upgrade Zoom. I don't care. All right. Okay, so you just had to make sure you're muted.
Yeah. So wait. So what should we do the trial or do matchups?
We'll do matchups and then we'll end it with trial.
All right. We might have to just do them quickly if we need to make sure we get it done in 40.
All right, I think it says. I'm waiting on. Dude, my camera.
Yeah, you look like black and white.
It halfway through. It went black and white.
What's up?
What'd it do?
Steve, are you black and white?
I don't know what happened, dude. Like halfway through the pod, it just went black and white. We're just black and white today.
Friends. Yeah. We good?
Okay. I think we're good. Is it you're sharing the screen right now?
Yep. And so I got the matchups.
Okay, perfect. Let me just full screen this. All right.
All right, cool. So we can go ahead and get up into matchups here. So we'll just take a look at what people voted, and then we'll look into the matchups themselves. So first is me versus Mark. League likes Mark here a little bit better at 71% votes for Mark. Go ahead and go into the matchup here.
It really makes you wonder about our league. They somehow had me lower in the coaches poll when everyone picks me to win. There's just no consistency.
Well, it's week 2, right? Week 3, it's a different Mark.
Wait, the coaches poll was from this week, and then they picked me to win, even though they had me lower.
Yeah, I messed up because I didn't even do the coaches poll. So it might be 100-0 on my game. All right, so we got, I haven't even looked at this one. Yeah.
So a little concerned about running backs, obviously, with my matchups. I think CD is going to have a monster game versus Chicago.
Yep.
But yeah, I also think Ibuka is going to have a tough matchup with the Jets too.
Yeah, I think Mark's beating here.
Yeah. Is Jaden playing?
I don't know actually. I forgot to look at if he practiced today or not. But
yeah, I think this is just a bad week for your running backs. Bijan may go off for a lot.
I also don't feel as good about Jameson Williams just because it's Baltimore. And
yeah.
Things don't go well when we play Baltimore, usually.
They don't. At Baltimore, Jamon might just get lost out there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or maybe he's the one spark. keeps it going.
But Mark's team is also still a fraud, so I think that I win.
Okay. Oh.
All right. Next is Paco and Steve. Paco got 100% votes.
You know what that means? That means Steve's winning for sure.
Give me the money line on that one.
Plus 500.
Yeah, huge. I'd hammer it. I still feel really good about my team. It's been a very unfortunate 2 weeks. We still need to find some identity, but I still think Saquon and Kyren can carry me. I just need my receivers to show a little bit of hope. And Dak, I mean, they've had a similar trajectory, I thought, but I thought Dak would be throwing for a little bit more yards. But Paul's team's pretty good, though.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a week that Chase is going to really struggle with Browning, it's probably going to be this week versus Minnesota.
Minnesota's defense can get to him.
But Jackson Smith and Njigma might have a 50-point game this week against New Orleans.
Yeah, he might go off. Denver's defense hasn't looked very good, so I think they'll throw a lot against Denver. Keenan Allen. Yeah, I don't know. Have the Jets looked any good? No, their defense sucks, doesn't it?
Their secondary is still good, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he has Brandon Aubrey. That's rough. I mean, hopefully he keeps the Cardinals defense in, because
actually Brandon Aubrey might be okay if Dallas just scores touchdowns.
That's true.
7 touchdowns. Who cares? Yeah. Like Chicago's defense is just worthless.
Definitely taking Paco in this one.
Yeah, I think it'll be closer though than I think Steve's team will have a better week. Although actually I didn't see Barkley as the Rams, who have a really fucking good defense. But is their D end out or in? I don't know.
Don't know.
He got injured.
Well, and that's Barkley and Kyren are going up against each other, so that both of those are good run defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great matchups.
You can just watch that game, Steve. Yeah. Rams Philly. You'll get to see the two players who will determine your week.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Talk about inconsistency, because Vinny was consensus number 1, but almost everyone in the league thinks that Josh was going to win this week.
Wow.
Take a look. I feel like that's mostly just people feel like Vinny has to crumble at some point because his team has good matchups. They're almost projected 140.
I don't see how Vinny loses this, honestly, because I feel like his matchups are really good. You've got Taylor at Tennessee, Caffrey, Arizona, sadly Lamar, Detroit.
Yep, that's going to be a lot of points.
Yeah.
Tennessee's defense is actually, terrible.
If James Cook actually has like a good game tonight for Vinny, it's just I don't see Josh winning. But Josh does have like a sneaky solid team. But ETN has to come back to reality.
It is a rookie mistake, though, for Vinny to keep a Thursday night player in his flex spot.
Oh, that is so rookie, actually.
CMC or
so rookie. It's probably too late in a minute, so he's screwed, yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's starting Quinshon Judkins.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. James Cook, it'll depend. I know it's a like in-division game. Those are sometimes weird games. Who knows? Maybe, I think Miami is terrible, but maybe they show up.
Why is Judkins even on a team? Like, on a fantasy team? Is he even, like, is he a Brown? Like, I haven't seen, this guy hasn't even played football.
He missed all of camp. He signed, like, 2 weeks ago, and he was already their leading rusher last week.
Is he even on? He played last week.
Did he play last week?
Yes, he had the most carries on their team.
Oh, shit. Okay, so Judkins is here. I just thought when he picked that up, that was the biggest disaster.
I'm pretty sure he was literally the last player in the draft to sign his contract, right? Yeah. Like, he just refused to sign. Who knows why? That's not
sign him.
Wait, what? Oh, they were refusing to sign him?
Because he has potential suspension incoming.
Oh, you get with his hands on a girl or something? He start punching?
Allegedly.
I mean, to be fair, Vinny likes kind of just the scumbags.
That is true. Look at it.
Like a lot of scumbags there.
All right.
I don't see a single scumbag, to be honest.
Judkins, Rice? What do you mean? Two of the biggest in the league.
I looked at his starting lineup. I didn't see anybody there.
All right. Next up, we got another upset prediction of Dan taking down Lukey. See here.
I mean, that's shocking.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't.
I
Javante's
I
got
see it.
Chicago, so Javante's.
I see it
probably-
just. I think Hill might suck tonight, like every week. Justin Jefferson's going to be so much worse. Like Carson Wentz, no belief there. I don't know. I just think Lukey's receivers other than Puka are in trouble.
Lukey's also doing the rookie mistake of a Thursday night player.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
crazy
think,
moves.
I think Josh Allen needs to go for 35 here to give Dan a chance.
I mean, I think that's most weeks, but it is possible.
Yeah, I can just see any week though. Like I said, Dan's receivers can go off and Josh Allen could combine for 100.
Yeah.
Also, someone's got to have the heart to tell Dan just to drop RJ Harvey. Just get rid of him. He's done. I know you picked him early, but he ain't nothing.
Yeah, I mean that really was the worst pick, one of the worst picks. He just took him so early.
I don't even know why he did. Like, does Dan even watch college football? Like,
it was the start of the 6th round. He has back-to-back picks. He took Swift and Harvey. Maybe the worst turnaround.
We might need a odd segment just to talk to him about why he did that.
Because he knew the names. Well, he knew the names of Swift. The Harvey thing.
We know why. Didn't he mention before the draft he hadn't looked at anything in like a year or since fantasy?
Yeah, and then he drafts Harvey. If you haven't looked at anything, why would you draft Harvey?
That is very suspect. He had read something.
Yeah, he read that 6th round Harvey's up there.
All right. And then we got Pickles New Beginnings versus King Henry. Johnny's got a slight edge here.
Wow. People like the pickle. I don't think I took the pickle.
I certainly did not take the pickle.
It may just be because Johnny does have the most confusing team in the league. You look at them and you just don't know what you get.
Shaheed.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny was
He's starting Shaheed.
Johnny was one of the teams that, like, the consensus at the beginning of the year was very low. So I feel like people are just a little bit surprised at where he's been at so far.
Yeah. I think everyone was low. You like mentioned you hated it. Achane, however you say his name, and I kind of was too, but he's honestly a stud. He's like one of the fastest guys in the league.
I love A-Chain. He was.
I can't believe you didn't pick him.
Well, I'm very concerned about the Dolphins, and I think rightfully so.
Rightfully
but
so.
he is the garbage man of all garbage men.
He is the best garbage man of all time.
Yeah, I'd probably take. I'd probably just take Johnny here.
And this is a matchup where
Shaheed got all of his points off deep plays. Like he had a few deep plays, and this quarterback's so inaccurate. I think it's very plausible that Shaheed, if he starts him, gets him 0 points.
Henry off a bad week versus the Lions defense, he could rush for 200 yards.
We'll see. I think this is our test. Like, we weren't a bad run defense last year, but we haven't really been tested yet in that regard this year.
Yeah.
Why is Tracy in right now? Shouldn't it be Scadaboo? The savior?
Wait, what is this game?
What do you mean, what is this game?
This is not the Thursday night game. It's supposed to be Bills and Dolphins.
Oh my gosh, Dolphins are driving.
It's running a replay.
Steve's got Giants and Cowboys on.
Oh, geez, it's prime, right?
Oh.
Okay, but yeah, so is everybody taking Johnny here?
Yeah.
I'd like to see the pickle have a comeback because actually he has from teams he's had in the past. I feel like there's some hope here. It's just the problem is T. Higgins. You gotta get now. T. Higgins is probably mostly dead.
Honestly, T looked really good last game, didn't he? Once Browning came in, didn't he catch a touchdown?
I don't know.
He did catch a pretty insane touchdown, but it was like his points came. He had 3 receptions.
Oh wow! I just don't understand why they paid him so much money. I will never understand that. The Cincinnati's ownership just doesn't know what they're doing.
But I mean, people are probably going to be saying that about us and JMO.
Probably, but it was kind of a different situation. We had like things figured out. They don't have an offensive line. They don't want to pay their defense.
Yeah,
they have a lot of problems. Also, Miami winning this game would be like it happening would be like the classic NFL, and everyone would just like not know. Yep.
Yeah.
I told people not to take it. I think they're going to win tonight.
All right, that is the matchups for the week. Should we go ahead and jump into the trial segment?
Yeah, let's jump in trial. We'll go through trial. I think we'll just wrap it up.
All right. So this is the treat of the week here. Putting the power rankings on trial for the Great Tin Bunal. I have received a lot of hate for the power rankings that I've put my blood, sweat, and tears into. People saying things like, these are quotes just within this very year.
That's Mark, top one.
As usual, his power rankings mean nothing. These are the wildest polls rankings of all time. Austin's power rankings are not even power rankings. They need a new.
That might be me too.
Austin's bias rankings. I like the TFFPI methodology,
Not
but
Mark.
as long as Tin is the brains behind it, it's still too biased.
Who's that, Dan?
That's Dan. That's so Dan.
And last, the Paul hate in this league is unreal. And so, with all these claims, and this is only a small sample size, I've been getting them for years, I wanted to actually go on trial and just see if all of these claims are true. So I've picked out 4 different claims that I just have a little bit of data that we can start to address these things. Now, this is a trial, so I am seeking to find the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So there is good and there is bad, and we're all going to come together on some conclusions on these things. So first and foremost, claim number 1, the power rankings are meaningless. So the power rankings, unfortunately, have lived within the league message board for the longest time, which gets erased every year. 3 years ago, however, I started keeping track of them within like Google Suite or whatever. So I have a little bit of data that we can start to measure the accuracy of them. So these reports are those 3 years. You can see that basically what I have here is the initial power rankings for each of those years. And then I have the different finishes within those years in the columns on the right. Now you can see I have 3 different types of finishes. We've got our overall finish that includes the playoffs. We've got our regular season finish, and then we've also got finishes based off of points for. I know this is controversial. If the Pickle was here, he'd be probably crying and saying the only thing that matters is rings, whatever. There's a lot of luck that goes into fantasy, not only like playoffs, but also like who you're playing in the regular season. So just looking at data holistically, if we want to see who the best teams are, I think it's beneficial to look at all of these different types of finishes.
I see a lot of red. And I see a lot of Steve up at the top and not finishing.
So the way that this works is there are different shades here. If it's white, obviously that ranking is like exactly what I predicted. If it's like this light green or light red, that means I'm 1 or 2 spots away. If it's a slightly darker green or slightly darker red, I'm 3 or 4 spots away. And if it is a very, very dark green or very, very dark red, that is 4 or more spots away. So yes, there is a lot of red and green. Very hard to go completely 100% right. But you will see that a very large majority of these are the light and the light red and the light green. Meaning that even though it's not perfect, they are relatively pretty close here.
So really quick before we go into this.
Yeah.
So you're taking preseason rankings, final standings. Is that only 2?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. So that's kind of one visualization of it. There is also an actual measurement that we can use. We got to get a little bit boring here for a second. It's called the Pearson correlation coefficient. This basically is just looking at the relationship of these numbers. So if my power rankings were perfect, 1 through 10, finished 1 through 10, it would be given a coefficient of 1. If it was completely random, it would be 0. And then there's kind of different ways that you can determine what's good. Generally speaking, if it's greater than 5, it would be considered a strong correlation. If it's between 0.3 and 0.5, it's considered a moderate but definitive correlation. And anything under 0.3 would be considered weak. So jumping into those first 3 years, we're going to start off with the ugly, 2022. My numbers were pretty bad depending on the ways that you're looking at these rankings. 0.09, 0.15, 0.32, these are downright awful in terms of correlation. However, this was the year that Dan was ranked 10 in the league and ended up winning it. So that is a ginormous skew. You can see
that's not a skew. That's part of the league.
It's part of the league. It is. I'm not ignoring it.
That's not a skew.
Also, that was a consensus amongst all of the league. So, in general, it wasn't like a wild take. So if you did want to take that out and just say that is one outlier, you can see that the numbers jump up to like much more of that high case there. Now, for the rest of this discussion, I'm not going to ever talk about if that didn't happen. That did happen. That was a take that I had. It does affect the numbers, and those will be the numbers that I'll be using going forward. But with data, with analytics, the longer that it goes on, the less and less that those outliers will matter. So I think that will kind of get washed away in the future as I keep track of this.
Correlation report without the Dan effect. So funny. I will say that was the year where Dan had like the lowest points for like in the league, right? But then did he make a trade?
No,
He just got good. He just somehow sneaked into playoffs and then just went off, right?
no,
He had really good receivers.
Yeah, he had really good receivers.
Okay, so it's not that year.
Yeah. Anyways, moving into 2023, you can see that this year my numbers are pretty much off the charts: 0.78, 0.85, 0.56. The other thing I didn't mention is how to actually visualize this report. That is basically the trend line that you would expect to see if it's a perfect correlation. So you can see, generally speaking, these dots are almost pretty much perfectly correlated across there, with just slight skews here and there. And then 2024 is back to a little bit more modest, but again, a definite correlation of right around that 0.5 number that we said is kind of the threshold for in between a moderate to strong type of correlation that we'd be measuring there. And so what does this actually mean? So first of all, looking at the combination of the data across those 3 years, as I mentioned, the more data that we have, the more those outliers kind of get washed away. So this is not taking away the Dan effect. This is looking at just a larger subset of data, and you can see that the correlation report is right around 0.5, which is what we would consider a moderate to strong correlation. Now, that's still pretty boring in terms of numbers or what that actually means. So let's actually talk about it in terms of predictive power. This is what these finishes are looking like in terms of how close you are to finish within the spots that I initially rank you in. And so what this is showcasing is that depending on the finish, 60 to 70% of teams are not going to finish more than 2 spots away from their initial ranking. 75 to 80% of teams are not going to finish more than 3 spots away, and almost 90% of teams are not going to finish more than 4 spots. So when you look at it like that, this is very much a better way, or there is a very strong correlation.
4 spots is 40% of the league. What do you mean? Of course they're not going to finish more than usually 4 spots away. If you put someone at 6, if they go up 4 or down 4, that's the entire league with 2 positions.
Well, let's look at it this way, Mark. There have been 12 teams that have been ranked in the top 4 over these 3 years that I've had the numbers for. 8 of those teams have made the playoffs. So if you're ranked in the top 4 going into the season, that means that you got a 66% chance of making the playoffs. Furthermore, there have been 15 teams that have been ranked in the bottom 5 over these 3 years. Of those teams, there has been one singular instance of a team that was ranked in the bottom 5 that has made the playoffs at all.
Dan.
Yeah.
Dan.
So that means
66% is failing.
Depending on
not in this scenario.
Yes, when there's 10 teams, it is.
But if you are in the bottom 5 of the rankings, you have a 94% chance that you suck and will not make the playoffs.
In your top 3, have you picked the champion in any of the 3 years?
No.
There we go. And that is my takeaway.
Actually,
your top 3 is always garbage.
Ranking the people who won, so we have no. Dan was 10th, right? Other 2 years.
Lukey was 5th, I saw, and I don't know if the other.
Yeah, Dan was the one at 10, and then the other 2 were both ranked 5th.
Okay.
Yep.
Those are where I really, if I could have rechanged my statement, it is that your top 3 or 4 are usually terrible, and based on these stats I saw, they are.
Yeah, but what the thing is, that's why like the preseason.
You love ranking Steve high for who knows what reason, and he's never finished high for you.
We'll get into that.
I can't do the playoffs a lot, okay? I just can't fucking win
Austin,
the damn thing.
You need to go to your algorithm and be like, never put Steve high again.
We'll get in. That's one of my claims, and we'll get into the specifics on that.
Really, you should blame Steve because he has fucked you the most.
No, it's Dan. Dan fucked it up for all of the things I'm saying.
No, because if he had ranked you like 5th every year, I bet you his numbers would be so much closer.
But anyways, for claim number 1, the power rankings are meaningless. Are they perfect? No. But are they meaningless? I would say based off the correlation numbers that we saw, we would definitely say that they are not meaningless.
If you're in the top 3, you are fucked. If you're in the top 4, actually, you are fucked. You're not winning it. Those are the rules.
Be ranked 5th. So
yes.
Yeah. So being ranked 5th.
Who is ranked 5th this year?
Oh.
have been me.
No, it wasn't you. You were like 3.
No, you put yourself top 4.
I
Yeah.
think it was Josh, actually.
Oh, wow. It would make sense if
Dude,
Josh
actually,
won it
you know
all.
what's funny is it might have been me. No, I was ranked higher. I was higher. Okay.
Yeah, you were like 2.
Yeah,
You
that's
fucked.
not working.
You already fucked his rankings in other years.
Hey, we're early. How dare you?
All right, so let's get into it. Claim number 2. The coaches poll is a better way to rank teams than the power rankings. So, even more unfortunate. We've only done the coaches poll for 1 year or like 1.5 years, so I've only got 1 full year of data to show start to finish. And so that was last year, and so you can see this is kind of the comparison in that first chart in terms of how many spots that you're moving there. So let's break it down just a little bit. As again, you can see a lot of light red, a lot of light green in mine. So let's talk about first, what are my big misses here? Josh, I had really high. I had him at 3, and he finished at 8. But if you look at the coaches poll, they had Josh even higher at 2. Other big miss.
You had Pickle ranked as 4?
That was coach's poll.
Yeah.
Oh, that was coach's poll.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. So, yeah, coach's poll, love the Pickle. I know the Pickle sucks, but I didn't know he sucked that bad. So, yes, that one was a red one for me, like a medium red. But that was a very, very dark red for the coach's poll.
Okay, that could have also been, we don't know for sure if that was a coach's poll, that he filled out 5 of them.
It 100% was him ranking himself first. Not 5 times,
Yes.
but he definitely ranked himself first. We were all wrong about Mark there. So I and the coach's poll had Mark at 10, and you finished middle of the pack at 5. But the other big piece was our league champion, Paco. I had Paco at 5, and so that was a big leap. But the league consensus was very low on Paco, was that he was 8. So again, just another instance that I was at least closer than the coach's poll.
I would love one more correlation to do, and I can see it right here, so it's probably true in the others. West being ranked low and finishing higher, and East being ranked high and finishing lower. Interesting.
I can look into
Interesting. Because if you look at all the green from East, see Dan finished 9th where he was.
We will be able to look at that with one of my claims. I don't have it laid out, but we can look at it in a little bit more detail. The last thing is just comparing the correlation numbers here. So the coaches poll correlation numbers are god awful. They are basically the same as my correlation numbers the year that I got the champion ranked as 10. So very, very bad in comparison to basically every single year, and very bad in comparison to my overall correlation numbers there as well. This one, I feel like there's less room for interpretation. Debunked.
It's official.
All right. This one, I think, is where a lot of what we've been talking about so far is going to get brought up. Tin hates the Pickle or the Pauls, or he overvalues his own team, or loves Steve, or blah, 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 blah. Lots of accusations of certain biases throughout the power rankings, so I wanted to jump into that here as well. And so what we can see is that if we kind of look across all of the different years and look at an overall average of how much of a team finishing better or worse than their overall prediction here. And so
I'm the biggest minus. I mean, it's actually just brutal.
You and Josh, 2 in the East. Austin ranks the East too high.
So there are none of these numbers are going to be perfect. Obviously, like don't rank people one all the time. So some of these might be more accurate. It does look like I'm higher on Steve than I ought to be. The accusation that I'm higher on myself, however, is not very accurate. You can see that I'm only off by 1 in terms of a final finish. Regular season finish in points 4, I'm right on the money for. The argument that I hate the Pickle is completely unfounded, as I have actually overrated the Pickle if you look through all the different years here. Paco, I would say, again, he's within that 1 range. That's really not any evidence towards a bias. Mark, you do have the best argument for a team that I apparently hate more than I ought to. You've got the biggest number there. Other than Dan, who I'm sure is chomping at the bit looking at this number.
Oh, Dan will love this, even though these numbers are all bullshit.
However, you'll see that Dan's number is right around 3 here. So on average, over these 3 years, on average, I rank him 3 spots too low.
By the way, Dan was East. This is all East.
This was all. This is a combination of 3 years worth of data. Year number 1, I had him 9 spots too low essentially when he was 10-1. 9 divided by 3 years is 3, so that's this number. The other 2 years I've been right on the money with Dan essentially.
So really, the comment should have been he hates the Dans and the Marks, and that would have been true.
No,
Very true.
Well, what Austin said is that he hated Dan 1 year, and everything else he's been accurate.
Yep.
Still counts.
See Dan last year, 9, 9, 9, 9. Right on the fucking money.
But if you look at the other 3 around it, or 2, Johnny, Mark, both West, both finished higher.
Yep. Yeah, we can break it down and look at East versus West. You might have a point there, but
well, in the 3 years of data, I could definitely say that me and Josh are definitely overvalued.
But in general, do I have a definite bias towards most of these teams? I would say, other than Steve and Mark maybe having these claims, for everyone else, debunked.
Well, here's what I'll say about me. These are preseason rankings. I actually think me and Austin draft very similarly. So I think a lot of times he's going to look at my draft more favorably because we draft so similarly, but definitely overvaluing me. Because I have been in that top 4 for the last 3 years, I think in all of them.
Dan's going to be losing it. Dalton Kincaid, 20-yard touchdown.
1, 1, and 2.
Dan is going to be talking more shit. Dalton Kincaid, first touchdown.
Right.
Did you see Ollie Gordon scored the first touchdown?
Yeah, what the?
All right, so I got one more claim. The number 1 spot in the power.
This is true.
Again, 3 years of data is not a lot to go off of for something where we can only look at one individual team. But looking at that number 1 team, their average finishing position is 4. The playoffs have been made are 2 out of 3. Number of championships is 0. So, when it comes to this claim, seems like it's actually confirmed, and you do not want to be the number 1 team in the power rankings.
You really want to be outside the top 4.
Yeah, top 5.
If you want to win it.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. Was that confirmed? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a curse?
It's a curse.
So say it again. I'm sorry. I had an important phone call.
Average finishing position for the number 1 team is 4.
Wow.
They made 2 out of 3 playoffs and 0 championships won.
Wait, are you talking about preseason or anytime? So preseason then.
Preseason, yeah.
Vinny was preseason.
He was.
Yeah. Vinny is fucked.
Vinny's not.
CMC and JT are tearing their ACLs like final week of the season or final week of the fantasy season.
That's actually awesome. I love that it's because this is the best part about power rankings is the curse to me. I love the curse.
But those are all the claims I had to address here. So if I'm standing on trial and the only thing I'm guilty of is cursing the number 1 team
and hating the West,
then I will take that and I will just continue to never rank myself first going into the year.
So it's a slight East bias though, but we have now tracking data. So now each year, if it keeps favoring the East, we'll be able to tell.
You should just keep ranking Steve high and have him fail hard. It's kind of fun to watch.
Well, it's already. I mean, I'll be fine this year. I'm fine. We'll be good. I'm gonna help Austin's average out. Because what was I 3? That's all I gotta finish.
You're
is
gonna
3?
fuck me really hard this year.
No.
Steve, this is the first year. You usually do have drafts that sometimes look good, but Steve, this is the first year I saw your team and some of the comments you've made, and I was like, I don't know if you watched football in the off season or paid any attention to anything happening.
No, I didn't. Actually.
Yeah.
But I still have faith in my team.
I'll just say, we can't argue the data until it's done, but I am glad that I did this analysis before this season is over because my power rankings this year are not looking that good.
Not good.
Wait,
was Steve 2?
I think Steve was 2, yeah.
He might finish 10th.
Yeah, and then I'm
not finishing 10th. I can tell you that.
I had Paco 6, so I think that's going to be one of the, I'm going to have a second team that's in the bottom 5 that now makes the playoffs.
You had Dan really low, didn't you?
Yeah, but that's...
If Dan were to win this year, it would be the funniest, but he may just go on a terrorist spree. Yeah. Austin, he may say, who knows what he'll say.
I might have to pack it up.
We cannot allow Dan to win this year.
I don't think we have to worry about it.
We can't let Vinny win this year.
Vinny won't win. Vinny will screw things up at some point.
All right, well, we shall see. Well, I think that kind of marks everything. I think we went over. Is you got any following notes, any following criticism or hate, Mark, of the power rankings, or anything going on?
He threw a lot of numbers. Most of them were bullshit. Most of them were just trying to make him look like he went close to the baseline when saying, "Oh, they were within 3 or 4 spots in a 10-man league." Is crazy numbers to use. That's CNN for you.
All right. Well, I guess we'll end it there, boys. Good luck this week, and then we'll see this Bills game. I think this might actually be a really good game tonight.
Yep.
All right, boys. Well,
Yep.
I'm gonna stop the recording right now. Good luck, everybody.